Who would have thought that in 2019 there would be an AMD CPU that is not a bulldozer, giving Intel sleepless nights because of how fast it is? The AMD Ryzen 9 3950X is not a dream, it's a reality, and Team Red are coming back into the CPU market with a vengeance. Ryzen has been in the game for a few years running, but now it's truly here. Let's talk about this lightning fast Ryzen CPU that AMD have so kindly provided for this video. A CPU chip is a CPU chip is a CPU chip. If you are new to PC parts, looks are not really the selling point of a processor, so let's put that discussion to one side. The true mark of a good processor is how well it performs. Yes, performance is the main selling point for most consumers when buying any kind of PC part, but you do not see RGB lighting hanging off a CPU chip, do you? Okay, these are going to be my famous last words, right? 2020 is going to be an interesting year. My point is that you won't see the 3950X glowing red or blue in your workbench or gaming rig, but you will see the effects it has on your editing, rendering, or gaming. So what does the 3950X have under the hood that makes it so powerful? The 3950X has 16 CPU cores and 32 threads. It has a base clock of 3.5 gigahertz and a boost clock of 4.7 gigahertz. It has 1 megabyte of L1 cache, 8 megabytes of L2 cache, and 64 megabytes of L3 cache, and it is unlocked for easy overclocking. The 3950X CPU chip is produced on the TSMC 7nm FinFET line. It has the AM4 socket, and it comes with 16 lanes of PCIe Gen 4. AMD recommend liquid cooling, but according to Gamers Nexus, all hail Gamers Nexus, you can easily keep the 3950X cool using a normal blower fan, which is wild. It also supports a dual channel DDR4 3200 megahertz memory. It's kind of the optimum memory that you need if you've got a PCIe Gen 4 motherboard. If you didn't understand anything that I just said, just know what you heard me saying was the equivalent of a motoring journalist explaining what's under the hood of a high performance supercar. Like when you look at the 3950X, think Lamborghini, McLaren, Ferrari. This is top of the range. Up until now, I've been yapping on about speed, but I've not shown any performance metrics. So what I've decided to do is to do a brief commentary on most of the expert reviews of the 3950X that you can find online and end with some of my performance conclusions. So let's get into it. According to Linus Tech Tips, you guys know Linus, very thin man, the 3950X is a faster CPU than the first and second generation Threadrippers. Under synthetic load, it is nearly 10 degrees cooler than the 3900X, 71 degrees compared to 80 degrees Celsius, and it also has a lower power consumption than the 3900X, which is astounding because it offers higher performance. The 3950X is crazy fast. It is reasonably priced for what you get and has a good balance between gaming performance and workbench performance. According to Hardware Canucks, I don't know if it's Canucks, get your act together. The 3950X is the final nail in the coffin for Intel's high-end pricing. The CPU is not targeted at gamers, but rather at content creators and editors, people who will use it as a workbench. But that doesn't mean that it lacks the backbone to deliver a strong gaming performance. The 3950X has been optimized for liquid cooling, but you can easily keep the CPU temperature stable with that normal blower fan that we spoke about. The 3950X has gone some way to devaluing Intel's entire high-end CPU lineup. Bring on the competition. According to Gamers Nexus, all hail Gamers Nexus, the 3950X averaged 3.93 gigahertz clock speed in a sustained Blender 2.79 multi-core synthetic test over 405 seconds and averaged 4.34 gigahertz in a sustained Cinebench R20 single-core synthetic test over 125 seconds. The 3950X has a solid performance in Adobe Premiere Pro and Photoshop, as well as Blender 2.79. It also gave a solid gaming performance in titles like Red Dead Redemption 2, Civ 6, GTA 5, Hitman 2, Formula 1 2018, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed Origins, and Total War Warhammer 2. I don't know how the Gamers Nexus has all the time in the world. That's a lot of benchmarking. They must have spent the whole week just playing games to benchmark, but like, I'm glad they did. The 3950X consumed less power at stock than its competition in Blender 2.79 and Cinebench R20, and had very low temperatures under load in Blender 2.79 at stock clocks ranging from 57 to 60 degrees Celsius. If you use your PC as a workbench and you enjoy gaming on the side, this is the CPU for you. This is the CPU for your rig. This is who they're targeting. Intel is losing ground fast, and AMD show no signs of slowing their advance. But this is good for the industry, guys. You might have heard me say it, and I know a lot of people say this all the time, so I can't take all the credit, but jack of all trades, master of none. But what is readily apparent about the 3950X is that it is a jack of all trades, master of all. It performs exceptionally well top of its class in fact, in workbench performance and gives a good showing in gaming performance. It's apt to note that the 3950X was developed for the content creator and the editor, like that's the thing I do as well. So the fact that it holds up well in gaming performance on top of that is an added bonus. Now you can see why Intel loses sleep at night when it thinks of this monster that's lying under its bed. The 3950X has single-handedly impacted the entire price range of Intel's high-end to ultra-high-end CPU range, which is great for us consumers. And this is no easy feat, and anyone 5 years ago would have said you would have been crazy to speak of this about AMD. But here we sit, betwixt in 2020, and the 3950X is sat on its throne with a big king-size crown on its head. That's where crowns go. And my goodness, it's refreshing. It's really refreshing. What's left to say is that the 3950X is obviously a high-end to ultra-high-end CPU fit for any content creator, editor, and gaming enthusiast. It retails for around 16,000 Rand. So yeah, this thing is expensive, but the 3950X actually demands that price as it's an absolute brute of a CPU that'll make your workbench or gaming life a breeze. If for some reason you need more performance, AMD did announce their Threadripper 3990X, which obviously is a Threadripper, not a Ryzen chipset. So if you are upgrading your AM4 motherboard and you want to have a powerful CPU, look at Ryzen. It might be worth splashing out for Threadripper if you are in a production house or something. And it may sound crazy to say this, but it's actually reasonably priced in comparison to its direct competitors from Team Blue. The 3950X is well suited for any content creator, editor, or enthusiast level gaming rig. And my advice is that if you are aiming to use your PC for work and you also enjoy gaming, then this is the perfect solution for your needs. And if you can't afford one, make sure work gets you one. That's what I always say, but I work for myself, so that sucks.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any insight or anything that you want to add to this video, please let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be hanging around. Make sure that if you want any more AMD coverage, we're doing a lot of AMD coverage for content creators and gaming. Make sure that you check that out. I'll see you guys in another video. Cheers.